Hey guys, what's up? This is me, Landon. Sorry I haven't uploaded a video in a while, but today I'm going to go over the BuzzRoc deck that I just won a League Cup with, and I think it's in a very strong place in the expanded format right now. I really like this deck. I think it's really strong right now. It really reminds me of the deck that I played at Worlds and the Nashville Open, and I just really like how it works in the expanded format, and I feel like it has a really good shot. If you're going to Toronto, I would definitely consider this, or at least consider your matchup against it. So first up, we have 3 Baby Buzzful. This is your main attacker, 130 HP. Most people know what this card does because of how powerful it's been in both the standard and the expanded metagame. Sledgehammer, it just does 30, and then you have a bunch of damage modifiers like Strong Energy and Beast Energy and Choice Band and Muscle Band, and you can basically, most of the time you can do at least 70 damage turn 1 with it. And then also, if your opponent has exactly 4 prizes remaining, it is 90 more, and this makes the card also a lot stronger because on their Sledgehammer turn, you can go and it does 120, and that can knock out a Pikarom. And also with the damage modifiers, it can just knock out some GXs just on the Sledgehammer turn, just because you have Beast Energy, Diancie, Choice Band, and all that crazy stuff. Its second attack is actually you're probably going to use it probably once a game with this deck, Swing Around, because you can Beast Ring or Max Elixir onto a Baby Buzzful, and it can become a really good one prize attacker that can hit really hard even outside of Sledgehammer turn. Then we are playing 1 Buzzwole GX. I think that you need the 1 Buzzwole GX right now, just because you can't really hit like a super big numbers. Like, you can't knock out a Pikarom except with Lycanroc's GX attack. So Buzzwole, you can Knuckle Impact for like a Strong Energy, Choice Band. Knuckle Impact can definitely hit a lot better numbers, and also Jet Punch. Sometimes what I like to do is I like to just lead off with my Buzzwole GX, and then my opponent will go straight into Sledgehammer turn, and I've also spread damage on their board as well. So Jet Punch, this Buzzwole GX is just a really strong card. I think you only need 1 though, because if you play more than 1, it's the 2 prizes is a huge liability in this metagame. And then you do play 1 Diancie Prism Star. This is another card that just makes the Buzzwole and fighting archetypes super strong. It just makes it so if it's on the bench, all your fighting Pokemon do 20 more damage, and it just kind of makes these cards that are they don't look super broken, but it just kind of makes them a little better. And there's so many of these kinds of cards that it just makes the deck a top tier deck. And then we are playing 2 Rockruff and 2 Lycanroc. Lycanroc is a super strong card in the standard and now expanded metagame. I think it's not really in Zoroark. I don't think the Zoroark decks are really playing Lycanroc anymore, because they've dropped it in favor of Garb or Lucario, and I understand that. But Bloodthirsty Eyes is an amazing ability. It's just a Lysander when you evolve into it, and it's really good for early aggression. Claw Slash is another. It's just kind of a decent attack, but you can also hit really big numbers on it after you use your Dangerous Rogue GX attack, which is a lot of what the card is in this deck. It kind of just lets you take 2 prizes out of nowhere. Even if you have a Rockruff, you can just go Max Elixir, attach Lycanroc, and you can take out big threats with it. This deck might struggle to take out. Then we are playing 1 Sudowoodo just as a counter to Zoroark. If it forces the Zoroark player to put down a Muck or try and target the Sudowoodo, and it's also just pretty strong and expanded with some other Skyfield decks running around. And Sudowoodo has kind of just always been an expanded staple that most decks are playing, just because of how powerful it is, due to decks wanting to play down more than 4 Pokemon. And then we are playing a 1/1 Octillery line. I really like Octillery in this deck. I think you only need a 1/1 line just because I'm playing 2 Super Rod, and 2 Super Rod is really I just really like 2 Super Rod. I played it in my deck during Worlds format because it lets you get back a bunch of fighting energy. It's a very versatile card. It kind of lets you skimp out on counts. Like, I only play 3 Baby Buzzwole and 1 Buzzwole GX, whereas I could probably use 2 Buzzwole GX if I needed to, or I could probably use 4 or 5 Baby Buzzwole a game. And then 2 B-String. B-String is a really strong card. It's honestly pretty broken. I think it's kind of died down just a little bit. B-String is still a very powerful card, but the Ultra Beasts that you can B-String onto kind of get nerfed a little bit because of tag teams. But B-String has always just been a staple. I only play 2 B-String. Some lists play 3, but I love 4 Elixir because of how explosive the card can be. You can just put down a Pokemon with no energy on it, and if you hit 2 Elixir, the card can just be a threat out of nowhere, even outside of B-String turns. Computer Search, probably best ace spec right now. Max Elixir, like I was talking about, I think the card is very good. I play 4. It's a very explosive card. 2 Super Odd. I think this, like I said, I think it's just more of a preference thing, but I think it lets me play more of what I want to play and skimp down on things that I don't really think are needed. 4 Ultra Ball, 3 BS Seeker, and then 3 Brooklet Hill. Those are kind of just standard stuff. 3 Brooklet Hill I think is another really good card in this deck. It's just kind of just a good card, and it just kind of elevates the deck's brokenness. And then we have 1 Chorus and 1 Cynthia. I just like that. Chorus is really good in certain situations, and Cynthia is also good in certain situations. 2 Guzma. You don't need to play 4 Guzma because we have VS Seeker in the format and 2 Lycanroc. 2 N. N is pretty needed. It's really good too if you can end them down to 2 or 3 and then like take a huge knockout and you have your Octillery, which can buy you out of your opponent's ends. 4 Professor Sycamore, really strong card in Buzzwole. It's just fast and aggressive. The most fast and aggressive supporter I can think of. I believe 1 Choice Band. Yeah, 1 Choice Band, 2 Floatstone, 2 Muscle Band. In the expanded format, Muscle Band, this deck gains Muscle Band, which is really strong because it lets your Buzzwole be able to take knockouts on baby Pokemon easier because you don't have to hit like strong energy and stuff. And then I play 4 Strong, 9 Fighting, and 1 Beast. I think that's pretty good. Could maybe drop an energy if you wanted to. Maybe drop an energy and an elixir for another B-String and another card if you wanted to. But I really like 9 basic fighting because it lets you hit your max elixir a lot more consistently. So, like I said, I took it to a cup. I actually played an Oricorio because the other senior was playing Vespiquen, and I didn't know how that matchup went, so I just wanted to be safe and put the Oricorio in. So round 1, I play against a junior who's playing Rayquaza Vikavolt, and my deck just kind of sets up and I win. Round 2, I play against, let me think, I play against a Zoroark player, a Zoropod player, I think, and my deck also sets up, and my opponent doesn't really get super set up. And then round 3, I also play against a Zoroark Garbodor deck, which is a really good matchup for this deck, by the way. This deck kind of just preys on Zoroark's fighting weakness and just being able to pressure them. And I won that because my opponent drew pretty badly, but I think I would have won either way. Game 4, I play against the other senior. Round 4, I'm playing against the other senior who's playing Vespiquen, and they kind of just dead draw. The Oricorio doesn't even do that much. It takes 1 knockout, and yeah, I didn't have enough Pokemon to get another knockout, so I definitely wouldn't play Oricorio in this deck. It's not needed at all. It's just League Cup is a super. The meta is very specific, and it's not just like if you play a certain deck that like loses super hard to one deck, but it beats a lot of the other decks, and there's none of that one deck that you lose to. The deck can seem really strong in a League Cup meta, but the deck could just not be very strong because it loses that one deck, which is super powerful. So League Cups aren't really that good of a way to like test your deck or anything. And then round 5, I play against Archie Stoice, and they didn't get Archies until like turn 5, so I kind of just swept and won. I didn't have the best of draws, but the Archie's player, they played down like 3 Ultra Ball and Computer Search, so it was really hard for them to, well, they were digging for the Archies and they just couldn't hit it, and it was really hard for them to come back from that. So I think this deck is really strong. I would definitely recommend it for Toronto. I think it has decent matchups. I actually don't think the Pikarom matchup is super favorable because Pikarom is such a powerful deck. I think it's around 50-50-ish. You would just go Baby Buzzwole normally and try and like put down some chip damage. But the deck is super. Pikarom is super strong just because they can go full blitz, take a knockout, and then they can go tag bolt and play around your sledgehammer turn. So you really have to be wary and test that matchup if you want to feel comfortable playing this deck. But I think the Archie's matchup is decent. I don't think it's super favorable either, but it steamrolls Zoroark decks and it really beats almost everything else in the meta. So if you're a Buzzwole player, I would definitely consider this deck for Toronto. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe, like. Also, go follow my Twitter. I have the handle like right here. So thanks for watching. Bye, guys.